So everyone knows that in recent years, son Jin-Woo has been the example of having aura, cool as abilities, and most importantly, being overpowered in his verse.
No one in practice can guard me, so it's really nothing. We can put the camera on him too. Just put the camera on him. That man right there, that's the man who can't guard me. Turn it left. I'll take his ankles every day. Go one more. See the boy in the hoodie. He hiding for a reason.
But back in my day, damn, I'm becoming an unk. There was a character who was also overpowered and also had cool ass abilities. He was also able to pull everyone in his verse, even being able to keep it in the family, if you know what I'm saying. And of course, I'm talking about none other than Kirito, the original overpowered dungeon slayer. So for all my OG anime fans out there, this one's for you. So the episode starts off with this town hall meeting, as to get out of this game that all these players are trapped in, they have to defeat all 100 boss monsters. And they've been trapped in this game for about a month now, so I want you to take a guess on how many bosses they have defeated so far. And I'm just gonna save your time. They've defeated 0 bosses. None, naught, nada. So that has me thinking, for that whole month, what have these guys been doing? They've just been spamming side quests the entire time, taking procrastination into a whole new level. So in this meeting, they finally decided to rally some troops to go defeat the first boss. And this is where we see Kirito sitting by himself on some nonchalant shit. Bro thinks he's Aya Nikoji, but he immediately regrets having this popular loner mentality, as the leader says the worst words a university student could ever hear, which is to start forming groups, or a party in gamer terms. And as you can see, everyone's already got parties forming, so Kirito went last in the draft, straight Mr. Irrelevant, alongside this hooded player.
Who the fuck is this?
And Kirito must have been impressed, because how did he find someone who's trying to be more mysterious than him? Kirito then tries to talk strategy with his only teammate, but they already dipped. And I know this got Kirito tweaking. He about to go to war against this boss, and he got absolutely 0 comms with his teammate. They're cooked. We then fast forward to all the guilds pulling up to the first boss dungeon, with the lead of this operation, remember him, he'll be important in a bit, giving a motivational speech, thinking he Erwin. Sorry buddy, but that shit don't hit the same. So they enter the dungeon and the boss is sitting on the chair, aura farming, looking like Cell waiting for the Z fighters to pull up. The boss then jumps out of his chair, and it looks like some big ass pig, kangaroo thing, I don't know. The boss also summons its goons. And something that I do know is that this boss is fast as fuck. It shouldn't be able to move like that, it's too damn big. The raid leader then commands all of the knights to attack. Kirito then gets a few hits on a minion, but his teammate charged in first to farm some of that extra XP. But when your teammate's cooking, you can't even complain. The boss is getting cooked so bad it throws its weapons away. Realizing this, the leader told everyone to kick back so he can get the ISO, even smiling at Kirito while he goes in. The leader's doing this so he can get the last hit on the boss, which will grant him a special item. Like nah, this is the greed they talk about in the Bible, because is clearing the dungeon not good enough? He then prepares to fire off his light sword, but the boss suddenly equips a new weapon, and Kirito yells at the leader to stop, but he ain't listen, trying to go for that glory instead. And the boss starts moving like Killua, straight Godspeed, before slamming out the leader. He then appears behind some party members, and he's not even trying to kill him. He just came to taunt them about how he killed their homie, and they can't do none about it. Straight disrespect. Kirito tries to save the leader with the potion, but Burr says, nah. Fuck you mean nah, if you don't take this shit, you're gonna die. For real, there's no respawn video game shit around here. I'm telling you, motherfuckers would rather die than lose aura getting saved. Which is what happened to this guy, as he suffers the same fate as Peter Parker in Endgame, except he turned into pixels instead. And I know right after that decision, he's in the afterlife tweaking that he tried to pull that shit. Kirito then tries to avenge his fallen comrade, and his mysterious duo pulls up to help. They don't talk, but at least they ride or die. The two charge in and start calling plays, going in for a bait and switch. As Kirito first parries the monster, with his duo, who turns out to be a girl, shocking I know, strikes the beast. And because this high ranking game is a girl, her name is Asuna by the way, Kirito then tries to do too much and solo the boss. But this not only gets him belted, but he lands directly onto Asuna. Yeah, good one buddy. The boss then tries to get a 2-for-1 special like them pizza deals, but luckily the rest of the soldiers decide to lock it and contribute. Kirito then tries to redeem his earlier performance by striking the beast mid-air. Him and Asuna then go back to the bread and butter, the bait and switch. But Kirito made sure he planned it so that he would get the finishing blow on the boss, because then it would grant him the rare item instead. While everyone's celebrating the defeat of the first boss, one of the dudes dampens the mood by hating on Kirito, as he calls out Kirito for being a beta tester, someone who has
played these games before!
My fault. And therefore knew of the boss's attack patterns, which is valid as he was gatekeeping useful information. However, this guy claims that the information could have been used to save the guy from before, but in Kirito's defense, and this will be the only time I defend this guy Kirito, because his decision making is on the level of Berlizzi and Corey. Believe me when I say that. That guy didn't want to be saved, and that guy was also a beta tester himself, which is why he tried so hard for that last attack bonus. The crowd then start calling Kirito a beta. No, not like that. a combination of beta and cheater, basically a gamer slur. But Kirito doesn't give a fuck as he goes on a light Yagami type of tangent, proclaiming himself as the #1 player in the server that will defeat all 100 bosses as a solo player and free everyone of this world. Straight savior complex. He then puts on the newly acquired loot like his Marcus from Detroit Become Human. He makes sure everyone sees that Kingdom Hearts all black outfit before walking off on them. So just like Jin-Woo before he got that lookism type of glow up, Kirito had also experienced a trap dungeon that changed his life forever. It all started in the following episode where Kirito joins a guild called the Moonlight Black Cats. Okay, that's one of the guild names that are out there, who are a group of low-leveled party members who are all friends in real life. And Kirito must have gotten lonely mad fast, because this is right after he defeated the boss and declared to the entire server that he works alone, being the #1 ranked solo player. So that was a fucking lie. So after seeing how sorry this guild was, Kirito decided to join them, helping them level up and farm items. All things that are really important, since you know, they're in a death game. But when joining them, Kirito decided to activate private settings so he could hide his OP-ass level. But I don't know why Kirito would want to hide his level anyway, as this anime was made back when being the best in the game, like hitting Master Prestige or Global Elite, would actually be something to be praised and admired by. Where instead of nowadays, if you're good at a game, you're being told to take a shower or touch grass. Like this tweet sums it up perfectly. So to keep his high level a secret, Kirito secretly farms in higher ranked levels. But when he got back from his farming sessions, he gets a text from one of his guild members that Sachi, the shy girl in their group, has gone missing. And Kirito, being the OP #1 ranked gamer that he is, finds her in 2 seconds. And turns out Sachi was hiding because she had a breakdown, because she is in fact scared of dying, which makes sense as she is underleveled in a video game with hella monsters while being a part of a weak ass guild. So yeah, she should be scared, but Kirito reassures her that she won't die and that she'll make it back to the real world because she has him. And why might that be a fact, you may ask? That's because he's
the best player in the game, and that's facts.
Hearing that, Sachi calms down, but to now guarantee her safety, she never wants to leave Kirito's side, even asking if she could sleep next to him.
Excuse me, what the actual fuck are you doing in my house?
Kirito, my boy, game is game. He was so proud of himself that he decided to hit an emote right next to him. Like, if you don't get your hand down and lock the fuck in. But anyway, we fast forward to the next day where the guild's leader had some business to attend to. So the rest of the party wanted to surprise him with some rare items. So they decided to explore the dungeons on the 27th floor, the second highest level that's available to him. And keep in mind that this guild is still incredibly weak, which is why Kirito joined them in the first place. So they must be feeling themselves if they are tackling dungeons of this caliber. One of the members finds a secret room with a chest in it. Kirito tried to let him know that
It's a trap!
but it's too late as they open the chest and the door locks behind them, and a bunch of goblins, followed by some stone golems, surround the party. The guild try to activate that magic mirror to return home, but all crystals are rendered useless in this room. And keep in mind, the enemies match the difficulty of the highest player in the room. So because of Kirito, these things are basically all 99 overalls. And we see this with the first guild member to get bitched, getting done the same way that Darkseid's goons did Green Lantern. Tragic, as he gets obliterated into pixels. The next member falls shortly after, with the spear dude trying to exact revenge, but he just got hit with the
Shut your
Kirito tries to solo the secret room and get to Sachi, but it's too late, as she gets tracked from behind, muttering something to Kirito before perishing into pixels like the rest of them. After Kirito goes on to solo the dungeon, we see him in depths, getting straight PTSD from not being able to protect Sachi and the guild. He then goes and tells the leader of the guild how he hid his level from them, which is the reason why they all got murked, which caused the leader to go skydiving, but with no parachute. RIP. So after that sad scenario, we fast forward in time to this blacksmith peeping Kirito's fib. She just knows he got that shit on. Kirito's here to purchase a new sword, as that black blade he got from episode 1 has finally been power crapped. Bro got blessed with overpowered loot in the opening levels, the equivalent of the Lakers getting the #1 pick after just winning a title. The blacksmith then gives Kirito the strongest sword she's ever forged, but when he strikes it to his current sword, that shit just breaks. And that's probably because Kirito got the Ishigo Zanbakuto. At least we know that he's not painting swords like his Mihawk, but if I was that blacksmith, I would have been heated. Spent all that time forging my strongest sword to not even be better than level 1 loot. Therefore, to create a sword that will actually be stronger than Kirito's black blade, the two venture off into the ice biome to secure a rare mineral dropped from a dragon. They find the beast and it's the crystal dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! Kirito then orders Elizabeth the blacksmith to take cover, so he can get this aura shot in front of the dragon. But then it uses burst stream of destruction, thinking it's part of the Blue Eyes archetype. Sorry bud, you're not like them. But Kirito just
stands there, unfazed,
and belts the attack away.
You're
Does his ass really need a new sword if it can do all that? He then starts putting belt to ass to that dragon, even cutting off one of its arms like what Ignia did to Acnologia. Lisbeth saw what Kirito was doing and thought it was all good to come out of hiding. But the dragon just saw easy pickings and decided to attack her instead, gushing wind to blow her away into a conveniently sized ditch like that one map in Overwatch. Lisbeth then freezes in mid-air like she's a Looney Tunes character before suddenly falling to her death. And unlike Andrew Garfield, Kirito is actually able to catch her in time. And somehow, they were able to tank that fall damage. Fair enough. At the bottom of this ditch, the two heal up with potions. And to escape the ditch, Kirito tried to run up the walls like he's Spider-Man. That caused him to just plummet down, creating a human print deep in the ice. Now he's trying to be like Andrew Garfield, but he ain't got that type of bag. The two then decide to sleep on the escape route with their conveniently appearing sleeping bags, holding hands to maximize warmth. Nah, I'm just kidding, it's so they can get close. Like damn Kirito, leave some girls for the rest of the server. The two then once again prepare to escape the ditch that they're in, as they've got the material that they've came for. But suddenly, the dragon from before appears again, looking like Groudon, pulling up anywhere for a fade. Kirito picks up Lisbeth and hightails the fuck out of there, hitting a parkour wall on backflip, impaling the dragon, and then riding in straight hiccup style. But just when they thought she was all sweet, the dragon flings them up for a self-alley-oop to his stomach. But neither of them are too concerned with this, as they just stare at each other cinematically before Lisbeth hugs Kirito, as it just cuts back to them at the blacksmith.
Hey, wait a minute, what happened? What happens next?
So you're telling me they didn't show how Kirito defeats the dragon mid-air, and more importantly, how they survive from this high up? I guess that CGI dragon really used up all of their budget. But anyway, back at the blacksmith, Lisbeth forges the new strong sword that Kirito needed. And after that, she was going to confess her feelings to him, until Asuna, Kirito's original doer, pulls up. And that's when she realized she's the Yui from My Teen Romantic Comedy, the rejected second option. That's tough. We are then showing Kirito reuniting with his first duo in Asuna, and for a self-proclaimed solo player, he sure likes partying up with other members. He might be a performative loner. Anyway, the two open the dungeon for the 74th boss. Yes, you heard me, the 74th boss. After defeating the first boss a while ago, these guys all went on a hot streak. Too bad that shit all happened off screen. And keep in mind, Kirito and Asuna only went to this arena to scout out what they'll be up against next, but they damn near activated the boss, who appears as a jacked up Capricorn with a sword. The beast that attacks, but the two of them just get the fuck out of there. They would have no smoke. And somehow they escaped. I thought you couldn't leave a boss arena once it's been summoned. I guess that's not the case. Kirito talks about how they'll need everything to defeat this boss, including potions, tanks, healers, etc. But that's when the cavalry arrived, but they weren't looking to help. They just wanted Kirito's world map, and they want to defeat the boss for themselves for that rare reward. Kirito then hands the world map because why not? And this guild army prepares to attack the boss. And keep in mind, this army is tired from just climbing up the mountain. They put all their stats in defense, but they forgot their endurance. Got the same amount of stamina as Jay Uso after he's done yeeting for 20 minutes. Kirito and his friends go back to farming, until they hear screams coming from the boss room. And what do you know? That tired ass guild is getting packed up. Who would have guessed? Kirito then tells them to use their magic crystals, but they're ineffective. Which has me wondering on why these guys don't do what Kirito and Asuna did, and skedaddle the fuck out of there. Kirito gets PTSD from the last time he was in a room that didn't allow crystals.
Bye-bye.
And was forced to watch the same fate happen to this guild, as the leader gets hit into looking like Cardi before perishing. And it's hard to feel bad for this guy, as he just got himself and his guild killed because he didn't realize they weren't built for this. Pride is the devil, word to J. Cole. The Capricorn boss was about to go on a kill streak, about to get a UAV, but Asuna says, "I won't watch this anymore!" and charges in, forcing Kirito and his friends to follow suit. Asuna lands a barrage of attacks onto the boss, but he just shakes them off, parries Asuna, and then socks the shit out of her. She should have thought that move through before trying to move like a hero. The boss was about to turn her into pixels as well, but Kirito blocks the attack. And keep in mind, Kirito's using his OG Blackblade from before, and not that new dragon sword that he just got. And why is that? Just want you to keep that in mind real quick. The beast wasn't trying to have any survivors, so it tried to off the support team.
What do you say fuck me for?
But luckily Kirito lands a critical hit in its back, where the two begin to clash. Kirito starts getting tagged out, meaning that this boss is the real deal. He then blocks a heavy attack from the boss, but as you can see, his HP starts draining. Kirito then dodges the attack and looks around at his friend, at his shorty, at that fodder-ass guild he was trying to protect, and realizes he can't have him go out the same way the Midnight Cat Clan did, or whatever their name was. But that reminiscing almost got him killed, as the boss strikes and Kirito just barely blocked it. Look at his face, he knows he's not supposed to be alive right now. He then asks for his team to cover him, as he starts scrolling through the skills menu. He then switches out with Asuna, blocks the attack with his right, and activates a sword in his left, and belts the boss with a chin check. and everyone is shocked to find out that Kirito has the ability to dual wield swords. And you're probably wondering, why is that such a big deal? Like, surely you could just equip an extra sword in your hotbar like in Minecraft. But it doesn't matter, as this scene was still raw as hell. As with the two swords, Kirito blocks the boss's heavy smash, parrying it and going for combos on the boss. But he gets too much dip on his chip, thinking this was going to be easy, as the boss lands a quick 1-2. Kirito then weaves the other attack and lands a barrage of slashes onto the boss, but him spamming those attacks like Siakam with his spin moves allowed the boss to catch on, catching his sword and going in for the finishing blow. But luckily with his other sword, Kirito was able to strike first. Like, look at that reach, bro barely got him. If he had them Desmond Bane arms, he would have been cooked. The boss is defeated and we see that Kirito only had 1 HP left. And even with those two swords, that fight was still a hard diff. But hey, he still soloed the boss, word to Goku. And you're probably wondering why Kirito decided to hide his dual wielding abilities in the first place. But as we all know, he's a gatekeeper. Upon healing after defeating the boss, Asuna alongside Kirito is called back to her guild's headquarters, the KOBs, or Knights of Blood Oaths. Now see, that's a cool guild name, not that lame ass midnight cash shit. They are the #1 ranking guild in the server, but despite that, their leader, Heathcliff, is not impressed that Asuna, their second in command, keeps venturing off with Kirito instead of attending to guild duties. And I mean, fair enough, not contributing to guild wars will get you kicked ASAP. But Kirito, who's speaking for Asuna, tells the guildmaster that Asuna should be able to do whatever she wants, especially since she kinda contributed to defeating the last boss anyway. Heathcliff then offers Kirito a wager. If Kirito beats him in a duel, then Asuna is free to do whatever she wants. But if he wins, Asuna must remain here and Kirito must join his guild, helping them with their tasks and whatnot. And these two guys don't even let Asuna express how she feels, and now they're about to duel over her autonomy. Not very work with them, I must say. And Kirito joining a guild would be such a stain on his legacy, because you know, he's the #1 solo player, even though he had already joined a guild, even though he got all of them killed, and has partied up with other members. Yeah, it would be such a travesty. So the two organize a duel, and the event looks sold out like a main event pay-per-view. Probably because they advertised Kirito as the dual-wielding demon. That's cold. The two then draw their weapons and Kirito charges in immediately, firing a bunch of strikes, but Heathcliff just blocks that shit with his big-ass shield. Heath then goes to shield bash like that one chick from Overwatch, which has Kirito shook, but then he instead attacks with his sword, sending Kirito back. He then continues to charge in, swinging with the sword, but then switching and belting Kirito with the shield. Good move. Heath continues to get the upper hand on Kirito, and that's because Kirito keeps attacking bro's shield, like that's gonna do anything. Heath then just moves to the side, asking Kirito as he slips,
"Where you going? You're lost?"
And Kirito has never looked as goofy in his life, so he's gotta play it off like he's not getting cooked. The two then go back to clashing, and Kirito finally draws blood onto Heath, and with the equivalent of seeing one bucket go in, Kirito finally got that confidence that he starts overpowering Heath. Creating an opening, going in for the finisher blow, but Heath activates that
Chaos control.
skill which allows him to get his shield back in place, blocking Kirito then striking him for the win.
Ooh, got his ass.
And before this, I couldn't even imagine Kirito losing, but I was proven wrong. There are other players who are just like that. Bro got his #1 player chain snatched in real time, and upon losing, Kirito is now part of the KOB guild, and to make matters worse, they got my guy in the most default attire ever. And I would be heated if I was Kirito. They took away my sauce like how they did Trunks in Super. Kirito's first mission in this guild is to clear out a dungeon with these two jabronis. And you'll think that KOB would go on some more high rank missions. You know, like a boss raid, since they basically got the top 3 in the verse on their squad, plus some other high level members. But it's cool, there's always time for a side quest. And before entering the dungeon, the 3 go on a lunch break. And upon drinking the water, Kirito sees this guy geeking.
No, I can't laugh yet. I've got to hold it in.
So Kirito eats that shit, but it's too late. Him and the other dude got poisoned. Turns out that this guy is actually part of the Laughing Coughing Guild, a team that griefs and kills other players. And that's fucked up, as he starts pummeling the other dude whose name I still don't know, looking ecstatic as he does it, before delivering the final blow, killing the player. The killer then goes to stab Kirito, and just sitting there helplessly as your life bar slowly decreases, gotta be one of the worst ways to go out for real. Kirito tries to resist, but as he hits that 1 HP mark, you realize that it's all over. But that's until Asuna pulls up with the clutch. Turns out that while Kirito was out, she was stalking his location on that live 360, and when she saw that he was in trouble, she gapped it. I guess it's kinda good to have an obsessive partner, who knew? Asuna then laid belt to ass on the assassin, who gives up immediately. He knew he wasn't built to fight all that. Asuna then prepares to
Finish him.
but he pulls the same stunt that Raditz did on Goku before he hits the and strikes Asuna and goes in for the kill.
Damn.
But before he could do that, Kirito blocks the attack with his hand, losing it in the process. And keep in mind, bro literally has 2 swords. Just like Shanks, he had absolutely no reason to do that except for the aura implications. Kirito then turns his hand into an energy blade, something that one cooler soldier could do, before impaling bro to death. And what's the point of having 2 swords when you could just do shit like that? Bro's OP. So you know how Kirito asked the Knight of Blood Oath Guild to let Asuna do whatever she wants? Well, because of the trouble that their former member gave them, Asuna was granted some time off to spend some time alone with Kirito. Who knew that to get some extra time off from your job, all you need to happen is to almost get murdered? I'ma try that someday. And in their time off, Kirito and Asuna get virtually married and adopt a fairy child. What an interesting sequence of events. But then we cut to Kirito fishing. Bloody fishing. Before getting a message from Heathcliff to return to base as they're about to fight the next boss. Kirito then says bye to his old fishing friend before they dip out of there. And I didn't even realize that Kirito got his old gear on. They pull up to the guild base and get ready to travel to the boss dungeon, but Kirito starts getting cold feet about this operation because of how dangerous it's getting. While he's posted up like Yves Saint Laurent at Christian Dior's funeral, he tells Asuna that they should just run away and go back to living their lives together, even if it's just in a video game. But Asuna tells Kirito that right now, in the real world, they're getting kept alive by machinery in hospitals, so eventually, they'll have to try and make it out to touch grass for real, or die trying. This pep talk causes Kirito to lock in as they pull up to the 75th dungeon room. And everyone charges in, but it's empty. Until they all look up and see some skeleton centipede looking thing fiending. The creature climbs down and instantly slams out 2 fighters. Oh yeah, this boss is not playing fair. It charges in again and everyone starts fleeing, but Heathcliff, the real #1 player, just blocks that shit. But the creature grabs the rebound and slams a different player out instead. The Skull Reaper then starts circling all the players like it's playing Slither.io, finding other players as easy pickings before Kirito blocks the strike attempt. But just like Kirito, the Skull Reaper also got 2 swords, so it prepares to strike Kirito again. Luckily, Heath the GOAT covers Kirito and shields off the attack. This allows Asuna to land a critical hit. The big 3 continue to be perfect on both the offensive and defensive side, dealing damage to the Reaper. This instills confidence to the rest of the role players, allowing them to also get some hits in. This operation is looking like the 2017 Warriors, as everybody's getting their game off. I spoke too soon though as 2 other players get slimed out. My bad. The skeleton then enters its second phase, but no one's too worried about that, as every player starts unleashing their signature move straight DBZ style, with this guy hitting the first form of thunder breathing, with his duo following up with an overhead smash to the spine. Kirito and Asuna follow up by blocking the Reaper's attack, weaving its attack, and then jabbing it in his chest, and then hitting a triple blade Kamehameha, evaporating the being and clearing the 75th floor. So while everyone's taking a breather after defeating the boss, mourning the 14 players they lost in that battle, Kirito sees Heath aura farming by staring in the distance, and he remembers when Heath beat him in that 1v1, so he does what any other sore loser would do, and starts hating, as he charges in and attacks Heathcliff. But he's left unaffected, because it turns out that he's been protected by the system the entire time, because he's the creator of the game, Akio Kayaba. And Kirito realized that's who he was because he says,
"There's nothing more boring than watching someone else play an RPG."
Now imagine if Kirito saw what the world's come to today, where thousands of people watch streamers play games in a parasocial relationship, while spamming W's all day and donating hella gifteds to millionaires. He'll be wondering what's with this woke nonsense. Anyway, Kirito realized that something was off with Heath, or should I say Kayaba, when something strange happened in their duel together. Because just like me, Kirito couldn't imagine himself losing as the #1 player in the server, hence he did what any other player would do after losing: call hacks.
Right hand on the Bible, God can strike me down if I'm lying? That motherfucker's cheating! Take my word!
But turns out, he was actually justified this time. But what happened if he was wrong, and attacked Heath for no reason, just for him to fucking die? I guess we'll never know. By the way, I'm gonna keep calling him by his gamertag Heathcliff because it's easier to pronounce. Yes, I'm a fraud, I know. And since he betrayed them, another member of the guild tries to attack Heath, but he just uses his hacks to make him look goofy. He then poisons everyone with the exception of Kirito, because he was originally going to reveal himself as the level 100 boss, trying to pull a turbo-tastic on them. But since Kirito figured out the twist early, like when you recommend your friend a show and they guess the entire plot in 2 seconds, Heath gives Kirito another wager. Another 1v1 with no hacks enabled. If Kirito wins, then they clear the games right now and everyone returns back to the real world. But if he loses, then they continue the games all the way to level 100. So another 25 levels with even harder bosses. And of course, if you're Kirito, you have to take this wager. This got the fate of the universe written all over it. And if he truly believes he should never lost like the healthy 2015 Cavs, then you take this bet every day. Kirito then reflects on everyone who has died during the course of these games, and decided no more. No one else will die because it ends right here. Talk to them nice, Kirito. The two then prepare to duel, both at half health, with Heath turning off his invincibility. But also, what's the point of playing a game? Your own game in fact, when you suffer no consequences and you know everything that's already about to happen. That's like playing Minecraft with keep inventory on, like what's even the point? But that doesn't matter though, as they both draw their weapons and begin to duel. Kirito throws 3 strikes but they all hit the shield. Bro has learnt nothing from their last fight. Heath then throws a swing but Kirito just barely leaves it. The two go back to clashing, and right now, it's just good hoops on both sides, with great defense as no one can get it hidden. Kirito then finally uses his mobility advantage, striking, then jumping over Heath, and attacking from all angles. Unfortunately, Heath's got every defensive badge equipped on Hall of Fame. Bro got Paint Patroller, Immovable Enforcer, Post Lockdown. He's looking like Wemby right now. And he also finds an opening to draw first blood on Kirito. And just look at how he's grinning. He knows he's evil for that one. Kirito goes back to slashing, but he's once again hitting nothing but the shield. Like bro, where was that mobility from before? And look at Heath just deflecting that shield ease. Kirito bro, lock in please. Kirito then charges up his sword just to hit the shield once again, causing it to break. I guess the immovable object always beats an unstoppable force. Now if we could just figure out what came first, the chicken or the egg, we'll be good.
Boy, if you don't...
Kirito is now shook that his sword broke, even though he can make energy swords out of his hand. But he stands there all hopeless, letting Heath get a strike.
Damn, he really about to rock my shit.
But suddenly, Asuna takes the hit and just fucking dies. Okay then, what's the point of poison if you can just fling yourself 50 feet? And now with his shorty's life gone to protect him, you'd think Kirito would get some kind of rage boost like Gohan when 16 died. And that's exactly what happens as he picks up her sword and...
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
Oh no, get this guy off the court, he's going outside. Straight 2025 Klay Thompson. At least he still has Megan Thee Stallion. As Heath just puts Kirito out of his misery, sending him to the afterlife as well. But somehow, bro must have gotten that instant buyback, or speedran the gulag, or something, as he reappears as a ghost. The riders must have just given up and started smirking that good shit during the scene, because what the fuck's even happening? As Kirito is the one hacking now, piercing through Heath as he tries to attack a ghost. And after seeing all this, I'm just wondering, where are the refs at, man? Where are the admins, the mods? Where are the people that were calling him a beta since episode 2? They were right, this guy's just straight hacking. After cheating, Kirito goes to the video game afterlife, where everyone's getting ready to go back to the real world. And suddenly, Asuna's there as well.
How the fuck did he not die?
You would think this is a shonen anime the way none of the main characters be dying. Kayaba is also there, chilling there gracefully like he didn't just cause the deaths of millions, but he kept his word and returns everyone back to the real world where he ventures off. And this is where we see Kirito and Asuna teleport away, with Kirito appearing in his real body, hitting one of these.